Live Radio. I'm your host, Amy Montgomery, entrepreneur and digital marketing agency owner. Today, my guest is Daniel Addix. He's a co-founder of Liqueur, a company revolutionizing hangover recovery with the world's first DHM-based gummies. What began as Daniel's personal quest to stay productive after nights out during college has now evolved into a science-backed, patent-pending formula designed to help people feel refreshed and ready to take on the day after drinking. From overcoming challenges in product development to expanding into retail, Daniel's story is one of innovation, resilience, and a passion for wellness. Daniel, welcome to the podcast.
Amy, it's great to be here, and I'm looking forward to today's conversation.
Yes, I'm excited for you to share your journey. And can you talk a little bit about your story and how you created your business? And can you take us back to the moment you realized this was a problem that you wanted to solve?
Yeah, absolutely. So myself, I went to a school that was known for its party culture, the University of Wisconsin. It was a work hard, play hard type of environment there. And I would go out with my friends, and as soon as my diploma hit my hand senior year, the day after drinking just became significantly worse. It was almost like I aged 15 years after that piece of paper touched me. And it got me really curious how I can go about staying productive the morning after drinking, even if it was just casual beverages, one or two brews with my friends or at a happy hour, and still feel well enough to be able to go and get my work done, go to the gym, and be able to continue on with my life. So this started occurring to me around the time of 2022, and I got really inspired to take action about it in August of 2022 as well. This was something that I'd always really been passionate about. I had always been keen on the dietary supplement space. I was always looking to formulate new concoctions that could improve my body. And when I combined my college experience with my mixology experience as well, I wanted to be able to find a way to not only improve my body, but also improve my peers and family's experiences after a couple of quaint cocktails.
That's amazing. So one of your ingredients is DHM. And you mentioned that it's a compound from the Japanese raisin tree,
Yep.
and you've described it as a game changer. So what drew you to this specific ingredient, and how did you begin translating this into a remedy for your supplement?
Yeah, absolutely. DHM, it's called dihydramyricetin for long, and it's been used in Eastern Asia for centuries on centuries, originally for liver health, and more recently, research had indicated that it had a strong impact on how you felt the next day after alcohol consumption. It actually increases the amount of two enzymes in your liver, alcohol dehydrogenase and acetaldehyde dehydrogenase, which help convert acetaldehyde into a non-toxic acetate that can be excreted very easily. And what drew me to this specific ingredient was when I was originally doing my research on how to improve how I felt the morning after drinking, my own mother actually introduced this herb to me. She was the type of woman that would enjoy a nice glass of red before bed, but she had also previously complained about being hungover after only a single glass of wine. But I noticed that she continued to do, and it got me curious. I asked her, what did you start doing? Did you start changing anything? Did you start taking anything, or did you just grow out of it? And she said, no, definitely did not grow out of it. But I started taking this herb, and it ended up being the DHM. So I decided I definitely want to try this if she's feeling better after drinking. And the impact that it had on me the morning after the next time that I drank, it blew me away. And it got me really curious. What else is this in? So there were other products, there were liquids and pills at the time, but there was no one that was able to truly harness this power of the DHM into a gummy format. And gummies are easily the most popular supplement format preference of the modern day, especially among Gen Z. So I found a really unique opportunity to work with a dietary supplement chemist in order to take this DHM and put it into a format that it previously had never been put into.
Yeah, and that's pretty, a gummy is fun, especially like in the space that you're marketing to. It's a lot better than like a pill,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. A pill, it's got this taboo aspect to it, especially when you're in a social setting like a bar. Immediately, you're going to have the bar backs, the bartenders, even some of your peers will be on guard. It's like, oh, why are you taking a pill in the middle of the bar? I didn't know that this was this type of evening or something like that.
Yeah.
And then even talking to other bartenders, they're not as big of fans of the liquids because then they aren't sure exactly what's alcohol, what's liquid. It's a lot harder for them to differentiate the two substances. Whereas a gummy, it's very much a less taboo item. Most likely, someone's going to associate it with THC. That's what most people associate with gummies, but
Yeah.
that in and of itself is becoming less of a problem among today's culture, especially in some of the areas where we're seeing our highest alcohol consumption these days.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. So you mentioned about your first product wasn't what you ordered and you ended up finding a new manufacturer. How did that experience, share that experience with everyone and how it shaped your approach going forward with your product development? And was there a moment that you thought it might not work out?
Oh, there was definitely moments where I thought that this was never going to happen. With our first manufacturer, we had a relationship with them because one of our chemists actually had worked with them in the past. And we're like, all right, they're validating their experience with them. We might as well give them a shot. And we were also told that with a formula as unique as ours, bigger manufacturers were going to have more control over the actual formulation. And we didn't like that whatsoever. We wanted to be fully hands-on in how our product was created. So we ended up getting our final sample from this manufacturer, and it was great. It looked good, it tasted good, and it worked very well. We ended up getting the bulk order of the product, and it looked like it looked terrible. It tasted terrible. And it still worked, which was great for us, but it was not something that we felt comfortable taking to actual retail markets that we wanted to approach. So after about a month and a half of trial running it within the Chicago area and getting the feedback that, yeah, this works, but it needs to look better and taste better, we ended up putting a pause on that current product and going back to the drawing board. We then started vetting a bunch of different manufacturers and making sure that they were truly experienced within the gummy supplement space. As the one that we had previously worked with, they were a little bit sketchier. The gummy supplements were almost like their second priority, and their first priority was something that didn't align with us. So we wanted to work with someone that was exactly focused on product development in our space. And going back to the moment where I thought this might not work, our first ever sample that we got from this first manufacturer, it was trash essentially. And I was sitting there, is this going to happen? How much better can a sample get from this? Unfortunately, this being my first time going into this R&D product development space, I didn't know how much better it could get. Lo and behold, a couple months later with a brand new manufacturer, we were able to get the product that we were actually envisioning throughout this entire process, where we were able to make it look better, taste much better, and then also look almost like a candy dot, but then
Yeah.
also improve upon the efficacy of it all at the same time. We were able to make a 3-in-1 improvement on it. And with that, I think it really came down to just the vetting of the manufacturers that we worked with. The first one, I wish I went in person before we ended up working with them because I was not a fan of what the actual facility looked like, and I'll keep it at that. The new one was very much more professional. They had machines that looked almost like the Ferraris of gummy supplement making. I'll leave their name out of this right now just so that no one tries to poach our manufacturer from us. But
Yeah.
going in and actually having quality conversations with the management, the salespeople, the R&D technicians there, that is what I would recommend to anyone that wants to go into the dietary supplement space. Make sure you know who you're working with because that can make a huge impact on the product itself.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've talked to people since the first time you and I spoke that had the exact same problem that you did.
Ugh. I hate to hear it when it happens to other people, but it's so
Yeah.
relatable.
Yeah, and it was like this exact same time. I wonder if they went with the initial one, the same one that you went to. But yeah, it was like the same type of result that you had mentioned. And I thought, oh, Maybe this is a thing in the market to watch out for.
Definitely. I think there's a lot of manufacturers out there that promise more than they can actually provide. And that's why I think you actually have to go into the facility, talk to the people, see what their production capabilities are in order to get a holistic determination on if they're going to be the right fit for you and your brand and product.
Yeah, I love that. You had mentioned you launched in October and then you relaunched in April. What did you learn from the first launch and how did those lessons help you with the second launch?
We learned from that first launch that our product works, our product was needed. It was something that people didn't realize that they needed badly until they tried our product and then
Yeah.
drank without it later, either that week or that month, and realized the impact that it had on how they felt the next day, which was motivating for us to make sure that we could make our new product the actual pinnacle of the alcohol aid space. And these lessons that we learned from that initial October launch, we learned that people didn't like the flavor. They didn't like how it looked. They felt almost embarrassed to pull it out at a party because it looked like it was expired almost. It taught us that people really do care about what the product looks like and their experience when taking it. It can make you feel great the next day, but if they're not going to feel good while taking it, that's going to have a huge impact on the actual consumption of the consumer and if they're going to want to come back and be a repeat customer for us, which is something that's so crucial for a growing business.
Yeah.
Moving forward, I think what I would want to make sure with any future iterations of our product that we come out, any modifications that we make are going to be all around the consumer experience. Sometimes we'll have our current iteration of our gummy. Sometimes people will say that maybe it's a little sticky, especially if it's been in their pocket for a long time over the night. So we want to work with different types of pectins and see if we can improve upon that. It all really comes down to the consumer perception while taking it.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that, especially in the gummy space, a lot of people need to focus on. Because for pills, you swallow it with water. For liquids, you just swallow it. But if it's bitter, it's not going to be that great. The gummy, it needs to taste good. It needs to feel good. It needs to also look good. It needs to be visually appetizing as well. And I think those are all things that we're going to continue to work on for any further iterations and launches of current products and new products that we have in mind.
I love that you don't have any sugar in it too.
Oh, absolutely. We want to keep our product as good for the body as you can. It's something that we're really passionate about because there are other products in the alcohol aid space. I won't point fingers, but they're genetically modified. And we like having that, we like delineating ourselves as the most natural thing that you can take within the alcohol aid space.
So now you're expanding, and you have mentioned you're expanding into 30 stores. And can you talk a little bit about your decision to go into retail? And then also, you've been focusing on bars. How's all of this tie into your ultimate strategy for your business?
Definitely. So the long-term future for liqueur is that we want to be sold everywhere where there's alcohol available. If there is going to be an opportunity for someone to purchase alcohol, I think that the future is going to align with there being also an equal amount of opportunities for alcohol aid for those people. You can see the trends. Alcohol consumption is slowly going down. I don't know if that's going to be a long-term trend or not. I wouldn't bet against liquor, honestly, just from historical trends. But at the same time, alcohol aid is skyrocketing, and the market for alcohol aid is going to clear 6 billion by 2030. So there is a huge demand for these types of products, and no better place to actually have a product that's going to help you feel better after drinking than where people are going to be buying their drinks at retail liquor locations. And Chicago is probably second to Milwaukee within the Midwest as far as drinking goes. Me being from Milwaukee, I have a little bit of experience in the Wisconsin drinking culture, and Chicago definitely holds their own with it. And we wanted to make sure that our product is going to be like the six pack that accompanies their six pack. When we're targeting bars, also, bars like us because they focus on the customer experience. They want people coming back the next day, which is funny enough, their prerogative. They want people to return to the bar as frequently as possible because they had such a good experience. And if someone's going to be hungover with their head in the toilet after an experience at the bar, one, they're probably not going to have a good take on the bar, nor will they be coming back anytime soon because their body needs to recover from it. But if we can actually give them these tools to help their body recover from the alcohol as they're drinking and in the locations that they're drinking, it's going to set them up for long-term productivity and that mindset of, oh, I don't want to feel this awful again the morning after. I better take my liqueur. And if it's available for them at these locations, it's a no-brainer. For retail, we'll put it on the countertop and have it be that ideal impulse purchase right as they're checking out. And we've had a lot of success with that in Chicago, and over half of our stores have already reordered product. What we're seeing at our bars is that they like having it either on their late night menu or as a part of their like brunch and NFL menus. The Barstool Sports Bar is one of the bars in Chicago that actually carries our product, and they have it available as a part of their NFL package for people that are drinking on Sundays, enjoying football, but then they got to get up the morning after on a Monday and put in five days in a row of quality work. So they absolutely see the benefits for productivity and health. And I think that's something that all bars and retail locations that serve alcohol could take advantage of.
So, have you heard some of the stories and feedback from customers and how it's helped them? And how has that feedback affected the way that you approach your business?
The feedback has been fantastic that we've gotten from not only our peers, but people that are purchasing our product that I truly have never met before, but they give us the feedback either through our website or through DMing our social media accounts. And they say, I took this last night. I was skeptical. This definitely works. I feel so much better than I would otherwise. We'll have people that work in the bar industry where they got to throw back a couple just because that's the culture that they're in. And then they have to work a double shift the morning after. And now they're able to wake up the next day and get right after it with very little stopping them from a need to recover standpoint because they're already recovered from the night before. It's inspiring to us that we've made this product that can impact people's lives in such a peculiarly beneficial manner. And it's something that it inspires us that we want to make sure that this is continuously available to people. And that's where we got the feedback to continue our expansion into liquor stores, bars, make it more available for people that might not actually know what it is, and put it in front of them, make sure that they can get an opportunity to try it and have them experience the impact and benefits of it for themselves. So moving forward, we've taken that feedback and are focusing a lot on event activations, whether it's at music festivals, bar crawls, any places where people are going to be hanging out and casually drinking. We want to make sure that we can get in front of people's faces and almost put them on a new path for health that they honestly didn't think was feasible with alcohol consumption.
I love that. So, what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs, especially those that are looking to enter the wellness and supplement space? And maybe what do you wish someone had told you when you first started on your journey?
I wish someone told me that MOQs are not cheap, especially in the gummy space. I expected gummies to be a lot cheaper to manufacture than per se liquids, and it shows how blind I was when going into this entire process at the start of our R&D. Making a gummy is expensive. It is high MOQs. You're going to be throwing in several thousands of dollars. And as long as you have the financial backing to be able to go for it, but know that this is going to be a risk that you are taking from a capital standpoint. Like for us, we had to get two different orders because they botched our first one, and then we had to take all our leftover capital and throw it into our next batch. So we were almost running on fumes just to get our product off of the ground back in April. And now we've steadily recovered from that, but it's definitely going to be a headache from a capital standpoint if you aren't prepared for that investment moving forward. Something about formulation as well. Make sure that the ingredients that you are sourcing, make sure that they're third party tested. That was a big thing with our manufacturer that we really appreciated that they did, and make sure that our ingredients are pure. If you don't have the validity behind that, then it's going to be harder to get consumers to buy in to believing and trusting your brand and the efficacy of your products.
Love that. Through this entire journey, because you have obviously you've gone up, it's been up and down, and just every other entrepreneur, what do you think has been your truth that's gotten you this far?
I think the truth that has gotten me this far is the fact that our company is making people's lives better. And it's funny when you say, oh, you're helping people drink more. No, we're not telling people that they can drink more or that they should drink less. But if we're giving people the tools to help improve their liver health and have them feel better and be more productive the morning after a night where they shouldn't really be in a capacity to do much from a work standpoint or getting things done, it means a lot to us that we're helping people get off the couch, get out of bed, and then continue with their day-to-day life the next day. And I see that as our North Star. We're making people's lives better, we're improving their health, and we're helping them have their great nights carry into better mornings.
And you're probably extending their life a little bit too, especially those that deal with alcoholism. What do they end up
Mhm.
dying of? Liver damage.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if you're helping them, they're at least extending their life, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
there are some studies that have discussed DHM's impact on curbing alcohol cravings as well, which is something that is fantastic for people that do struggle with alcoholism. We don't make any of those claims about our product, but there are some studies out there that do point at this almost curbing of these cravings when it comes to alcohol consumption when people are taking DHM. So that's something that we keep in mind as well, that we're keeping people healthier, we're keeping people around longer, but we're letting the good times roll at the same time.
yeah, I love that. So if there are people that are interested in your product, what's the best way to find you?
Yeah, so the best way to find us is either through our website at liqueur.com, liqure.com. You can also find us on Amazon Prime, or if you're on TikTok, we also do have our TikTok shop up and running where you can buy directly through our company profile.
Perfect. I'll put all the links down below. Daniel, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your expertise.
Amy, it was such a pleasure having this conversation today. Thank you for the opportunity. And I know you don't drink, but I'll raise a glass to you later this evening.
Yeah, right, definitely. And if you're listening, you want more information about this podcast or upcoming shows, you can visit acalltothrive.com. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful week.